Please rise for a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence for our men and women serving in our military.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune published a notice on December 18, 2020. It was posted on the municipal bulletin board and should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Spiller.
Here.
Councilman Ficarra.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilwoman Drum. Councilman Patel.
Here.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Vice President Bauer.
Here.
And President Small.
Here.
I get a motion to approve the minutes from August 3rd, 2021.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. This evening, we have no first reading ordinances. We have 3 second reading ordinances, starting with letter A. An ordinance to amend the code of the Woodbridge Township, authorizing the establishment of a community energy aggregation program that creates an option for 100% regionally sourced renewables. Can I get a motion to take this ordinance up on second and third reading and the public hearing be opened?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only.
I'd like to thank the council and the mayor for considering this vital initiative. I wholeheartedly support it, and I hope you will pass it, possibly this evening if you would like to. A clean energy aggregation program would be a win-win for our community, allowing us to use our collective purchasing power to save money on our electricity bills and bring clean energy to our communities to help clean up New Jersey's notorious air pollution. Many New Jersey residents have already been seeing significant savings thanks to their community choice aggregation program. But that's just one reason Woodbridge residents want a renewable energy program option. New Jersey has some of the worst air quality and highest rates of chronic lung disease in the nation. It's time we move away from our reliance on polluting fossil fuels and invest in clean energy solutions. The coronavirus pandemic has shown us that it is easier to breathe when we have less fossil fuel pollution in our communities. We can work to make this a long-term reality by investing in clean energy programs across the state. The climate crisis mandates we get off of fossil fuels and onto clean energy. It's time we invest in energy options that don't poison our lungs, our environment, and our future generations. Once again, I'd like to thank you for your consideration and hope you make the right decision and pass this as soon as possible, because we cannot wait any longer. Thank you for your time.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Hi, how's it going? It's my first time speaking at the meeting.
Sir, just your name and town you live in.
Richard Aveniri, and I live in East Brooklyn,
Thank you.
New Jersey. Sorry, I couldn't come in civilian clothing today. I just got drilled and I had to come in at like 6 o'clock. I really support this bill, and I love it to be recognized in Woodbridge. I haven't done it in East Brunswick. Not sure what's going on over there with it going through, but I would love to see it here and all of New Jersey, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your service.
Darden, Avenel. I am just coming up, I came up last week to support this initiative, and I just want to reiterate my support. Like I said last time, this is something easy that residents really don't even have to lift a finger in order to help the environment and the air quality, and like Jimmy said, our future generation. So I still support this, and I hope you guys do too. Thank you.
they took of getting this ordinance to the council for them to make it in fact an ordinance at that meeting, and tonight is the second reading, which allows the public to speak to it, as you all know. But I think we need a little bit more explanation as to what the ordinance really entails. If we look at it as just the outline that's given here, it's an ordinance to amend the code of Woodbridge Township, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, by adding Chapter 26, authorizing the establishment of a Woodbridge energy aggregation program that creates an option for 100% regional source renewables. Would you care to explain exactly what that entails? I do have a copy of the exhibit if this is going to be the actual ordinance that you're passing, which is all the whereas. Can you elaborate on it? What will it actually bring if you do pass it this evening?
Mayor?
Our engineers know the answers to those questions. I do not.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said our engineers know the answers to those questions. I do not.
We're having a second reading tonight. Council's going to vote on it. Nobody knows. That's wonderful. I didn't pass ordinances you can't even explain. You don't have the property, but you knew this was coming. You resisted it. Then you had it finally acquiesced because you had a petition signed. You had enough votes to bring it to the floor. And now you can't explain it? How can you even vote on it? And that's why I do support it, because I'm very much in favor of 300. Some real filthy holes I remember in this area had a lot of industry in it. I worked for American Small Business Finance in places. It was filthy. They were tremendous polluted. And we're still paying the cost of that now. And kids, their kids will be paying for it as well. Which brings me to another point of this. I was looking into this, and I think I shared this with some people. Critics want administration to the price of clean energy transition ASAP. It was written by Tom Johnson, Energy and Environment writer, August 5th, 2021. And he goes into the fact that there's supposed to be a detailed study out, but it's going to be 18 months more before the state finally fulfills their agreement to get that survey out there. So again, we're dealing with a lot of unknown costs, and I think we need to know what those costs will be. So my question is, if you pass this ordinance tonight, if in the future we find that it is not in the best interest of the town, can you amend it? Those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything can be amended, Mr. Maris.
I'm sorry?
An ordinance can be amended.
Okay. Are you going to look at the cost factors?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
The way it sounds to me, if we come in favor of clean air, that's definitely must in the future, yes, as soon as possible. But again, does it mean if you pass this ordinance that we only be allowed to get electricity from the clean energy, which is solar panels or windmills, or we still can use public service, which is a fossil fuel, what do you want to go, gas power turbines, what do you want to call them, or we just be dedicated to one source to get electricity?
Mayor?
Again, I can't explain the details. The goal is to use renewable energy sources within the township. I don't know the exact parameters of that, but that is the goal, to get toward use of all renewable energies.
So you don't know if we are just dedicated to one source, for example, whatever it is,
No, we're not.
you're not. So in case the clean energy cannot provide for some reason, we still can use the fossil fuel public service, things like that. Once you sign into it,
There's multiple sources for the energy.
so you don't have to sign into it if you don't want it to.
You can opt out if you don't want to be in it.
So after you did it before, a lot of older people like myself, they're not up to it, and they find out it's too late. But again, you know, as a businessman like yourself, it's always good to have a competition. If you sign to one person, one company, you are locked into them. And then, why do we have then public service in C1? You got one in Iselin, KSB, you build a third one. If you're going to just stick to clean energy, wind and solar panels, we don't need those new planes. You don't have to build a third one. If you want to do that, I think we talked before, Tom talked before, instead of building a parking KSB, in KSB, put a solar panels there. But again, we need more than one source because you can't lock people into one thing because they could do into the one thing. Thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, Charles Cradaville. I'm the Central Jersey organizer for Food and Water Watch, and I want to commend the committee of petitioners who helped get this initiative started, all of the about 2,000 people who signed the petition, and do want to especially thank Mr. Mitch and his team for their diligent work to verify the signatures and find that, yes, there are at least 1,526, which is why we're all here tonight for this hearing. And I did want to ask Mr. Council President, is the council planning to vote tonight?
Yes, we are.
Great. Planning to vote in favor?
We'll see.
Okay. I hope you will vote yes for it. This is something that's becoming increasingly popular since the state legislation gave towns the opportunity to do this. I do know Woodbridge is one of the towns that has had energy aggregation program in the past, as was alluded to. And perhaps you or the mayor or somebody who has experience with that could state for the record your experience with that program. Was it a good thing? Are you looking to build upon that?
We don't have it anymore.
I'm sorry?
We don't have it anymore. That should answer the question.
Okay. And why did the township decide to stop having it?
There's no reason to discuss that further. We canceled it. We don't have it anymore.
For no reason? Okay. Well, I'll just say I think you have an opportunity here to do something good, and I know that there's a lot of good things and bad things here in Woodbridge. I've really enjoyed my time working here, getting to know the community and getting to know all the great history and interesting insights here in town. And I know a lot of us have been giving you a hard time about the gas power plant and the plan for another gas power plant. But I do want to recognize that there are some good things this council's done, this town has done, like the free bike share is something that I'm really excited to try out next time I have a good reason to be near that. And it's never too late to do the right thing. There are good, solid, proven policies like helping people get free bicycle transportation that won't add to the pollution here. And I would submit that this ordinance is one of those good policies that is hard to argue with. And I really would hope to see you heed the wishes of those 2,000 people that signed the petition, and the folks who came up to this microphone and encouraged you to pass this, and the folks who've emailed you and tried to persuade you that this is a good thing. I would really hope that this council will listen and chalk this one up in the good public policy column, something that you can point to as another thing that makes the town green and positive and ahead of the curve on this issue of climate change. I thought it was a good thing that Woodbridge started energy aggregation before my city did. I think it's great that you got bike share before we did, but it was a mistake to stop energy aggregation, and you have a golden opportunity here, thanks to the residents who signed this petition and brought it before you, to make this the law of Woodbridge. I think the 7th largest municipality now in New Jersey. Edison passed this last year. East Brunswick passed it last year. New Brunswick's passed it. Piscataways passed it. South Brunswick's passed it. Red Bank's passed it. Asbury Park's passed it. And I can speak from experience in my community. Every month that the program's been in effect, we saved money on our bills, not to mention sourced our energy from more renewable sources. So it can be done successfully. It can be done well. And I would submit that the ordinance was written by policy experts who have thought through all the issues that towns that have tried this have faced. And this is a really solid ordinance. And I did, at the last time I spoke to you, offered the opportunity for anybody to reach out if you had any questions. and I don't think anybody reached out. So I hope that means you're going to pass this, because we've tried to engage in good faith to advance this good public policy. We did the right thing in terms of getting the community behind it and building that community support and presenting that to you. And again, Mr. Mitch did his part. I've dealt with a lot of clerks in my work, and I must say,
You can say we have the best.
the best I've worked with on
And Mr.
initiative
Crowder, with all
petitions.
due respect,
Yeah.
I think the people out in the audience want to vote. They want to hear our vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just wrap it up then, and I encourage you to vote yes. Thank you.
Any other comments this evening from the public with regards to letter A only?
Hello, John Shu, Edison, New Jersey. Just want to clarify a couple things with the energy aggregation. Where's the energy going to be sourced from? We have a regional energy provider, JPM, and basically all the energy is going to come from there. Once the energy is created, it's just a big mix, whether it's fossil fuels or renewables. So this program will allow us to purchase energy credits from clean energy sources. So there's not a threat of losing power at all. That's not the issue. The issue is, this does increase the demand for renewable energy as municipalities seek to implement their own programs. This does move the country towards 100% renewables. Besides that, Edison has passed it. I know towns like Princeton has passed it. A couple of towns in Essex County, they combined together and they formed a consortium a group to do energy aggregation together. This was a law passed in 2003 by the state to give municipalities the opportunity to source their energy and to bulk purchase it. With the bulk purchasing, that's where we get the savings from. So we're looking to get the savings for the community that way. Besides that, there will be a consultant that needs to be hired. That fee will be part of everything. So even after the consultant fee, there should be a savings for the community. Also, the town does not have to, and that consultant will go into the energy market, like I said, with the energy credits, and procure the energy for the town. And with that, and even with the consultant, even if they go out and try to find bids for the energy, if they don't find a satisfactory contract for the town can reject that as well. So there is a lot of flexibility into making sure the town gets the right deal. There's also the residents can opt out of it individually if they like. It's written in law by the state that everyone's automatically opted in. That just helps with the savings. But yeah, that's how the law is written by the state. But yeah, so I'm just saying that there's a lot of options for residents to make sure that that they can opt out, and also to make sure that the power, there's no stoppage in power, so that won't happen for any residents, except for normal outages, just like the power delivery, if there's any damage to that. But that's the same as our current situation. Yeah, so just wanted to clarify those couple of things, and just let people know that there are a lot of options for residents and for the town.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening? Here, ma'am. Oops.
Paul Lund, Hope Lawn. I heard the mention of savings briefly. Just a quick question with credits and such in the marketplace. Alternative energies are still quite a bit more expensive than traditional energies. Is that your understanding?
I can't speak for Mr. Lund. I can't give you an answer.
Is it at all consideration in your vote as to whether it may, raise our costs as Woodbridge residents, or is the option to opt out always going to have us a secure place in conventional energies or fossil fuels if we so choose?
Well, you're able to opt out, so,
Right.
it's up to you.
Got it. But as far as the alternative energies, you can't speak to what the market looks like as far as expense. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Danielle, and what you should know about me is that I don't like talking to people, and I don't like making eye contact with people. But at the start of this summer, I decided to work with Food and Water Watch, doing a job where all I did all summer was talk to people and make eye contact with people to talk to them about this opportunity for energy aggregation. And I did that because I am so scared all of the time. And one of my biggest fears is thinking about climate change and what the future is going to look like in a couple decades. And that fear is even worse than talking to people and making eye contact. So I was able to push myself to do this all summer. And I wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to do it all summer because it takes a lot out of me to do social interactions all the time with a lot of people I don't know. But what I found as I was talking to Woodbridge residents is that so many of them were excited for this. Like as soon as I started talking to them about this, they would just match my energy, and that made it so much easier. And I ended up having a really, really good experience getting to know the people who live in this township and talking to them about this because they're ready for it. Like the majority of them are so ready for it, and I think that's wonderful, especially because I couldn't even really look at the recent IPCC climate report because like just seeing the little summaries of it about like how things are like 100% guaranteed to get worse in the next couple decades, and at this point it's all just about mitigation, makes me so scared that I can't sleep sometimes. So, I think I was trying to figure out my wording for what to say, and I guess it's like, I feel like sometimes I'm on the Titanic, and I'm trying to bail it out with a teaspoon, but like this like energy aggregation program, if you vote yes on this, you're giving me a tablespoon, and it's not like a huge difference, but when you're on the Titanic, a tablespoon is better. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments on letter A? Here are no other comments on letter A. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion? Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter B, an ordinance amending Chapter 4 General Licensing to establish a permit process for special events on private property. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be opened?
Motion? Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter B only.
John Lotari, Woodbridge. On the letter B, special events of private properties. What actually does it mean?
Do you want me to take it? Sure. So, Mr. Vitarik, this is an effort to have a plan and review process for special events that are being proposed for private property, which could possibly have an impact on the health and welfare of the general public It could affect traffic, it could affect police enforcement, code enforcement, zoning. I'll give you some examples. It probably would make it easier to demonstrate. Woodbridge Center Mall, as an example, they have had several food truck festivals, and they've gathered, people have attracted thousands of people to attend. Other big scale events, circuses, carnivals, there has not been a permitting process. This will establish that. It'll allow my office to communicate directly with the police department, the zoning officer, the health department, to make sure that there's proper water facilities for culinary when food is involved, make sure that the solid waste is prepared, it's disposed of properly, collected properly. It'll also give an opportunity for the fire districts, for the fire officials to weigh in as well. There's a lot of moving pieces. Somebody needs to coordinate them, and that's what this process is for.
So actually, it's almost not like the county parks that you get a permit, so you got rules and laws, what you do's and don'ts on it. But it's nothing to do with the private property. I'm talking about residential.
Not residential properties, sir, no,
That's good.
commercial.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on letter B? Hearing no other comments, can I get a motion that this ordinance be, or the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion. Second.
Any other comments or questions from council? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. And letter C, which is an ordinance to establish a cap bank. Can I get a motion to take ordinance C up on second and third reading? Public hearing be open.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Public hearing is now open on letter C. Letter C only.
Good evening, Tom Maros, Fourth, New Jersey. Can you further explain it? I'm just reading it real quick. It says that the Township Woodbridge, pardon me, Middlesex County, New Jersey, for the fiscal year 2022, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget, appropriation limits, and to establish a cap bank. Why is that necessary? What is the amount that you're looking to extend beyond the limits?
Mayor?
Council President, this is just standard wording. The real reason for this ordinance is that if we were to go under the cap, we could put the money in the bank. If we go over the cap, we can take the money out of the bank. It's a standard ordinance that we pass every year, and it's something every town in the state passes.
In prior years, how has that worked out? Have you been under or over?
We're generally under.
And then what happens to that money?
It goes in the bank, and we can use it if we ever have to go over.
Goes into the general fund then?
No, it's just a calculation of a separate bank.
And typically, what are those funds used for?
They sit in the bank. If you don't need them to balance the next budget, then they expire after 2 years.
So it's kind of a reserve.
It's a reserve not to spend, it's a reserve to increase the budget if we need it.
Thank you.
Any other comments on letter C? Hearing no other comments on letter C, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion. Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. President, you have 21 resolutions. Can I get a motion to approve 1 through 21 by consent?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
At this time, we'll go into our public portion of our meeting. Just a reminder, you have a 5-minute one-time period to speak.
Good evening. This is the general public comments.
Yes.
Charles Cradville, once again. Thank you for adopting the 100% renewable energy aggregation ordinance. I think it will be something that when people look back on this, they'll have to acknowledge that you did the right thing and that the people who led the charge did the right thing too. Just a procedural question. I want to understand if, it was mentioned that this will be sent to the mayor for his signature. Is that a required part of the process? Is he planning to sign this? And, is there any possibility that this would not end up approved and ultimately have to go to referendum still?
So I will submit it to the mayor as required by law tomorrow, and then I will wait to see if the mayor returns it to me signed or not.
Okay, and if he does not, then would this be put on the ballot?
Yes.
Okay, so it still requires the mayor's signature. in order to become law. Through you, Mr. Council President, could the mayor tell us if he plans to sign this?
Mayor?
Council President, I have every intention on signing it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all, and have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Paul Lawn, Hope Lawn. A few weeks ago, I had breakfast with an old friend from Keensburg. He mentioned that there was a luxury apartment building that had been built near the water, so with a great view. And at the same time, another project, a high-end steakhouse restaurant was being built. And when they failed to attract enough luxury apartment dwellers, he said that there was quite a bit of Section 8 housing in the apartment building, and that as a result, the restaurateur decided to stop just midway through the construction. He didn't anticipate the kind of the original crowds that he thought, being with some folks at a disadvantage for not eating behind the steakhouse. And I know there's a lot of apartment units, luxury apartments going up around Woodbridge, and I hear a rumor there's going to be a great steakhouse on Main Street, and I'm just wondering, is there that possibility with all these units going up that they won't get filled with, whoever is commuting to, the big paying jobs in Wall Street and Hoboken and so forth?
Mr. Long, there is a steakhouse going into downtown Main Street, and just because you live in a luxury apartment doesn't mean that you wouldn't go there to eat. I mean, I live in Port Reading, you live in Oak Lawn, you would probably go to eat there, I'm going to go eat there, and we're pretty confident that our apartment complex is going to be successful.
I'm asking the question, what happened to the steakhouses that stopped being built in Keensburg? Because quite a few of the people that can afford a luxury apartment did not show up to that apartment building as tenants. Therefore, the folks that could afford to go to a high-end steakhouse, there weren't nearly as many. My question is simply, and I guess this is a developer question, are they able to open up their apartments so they could be fully occupied with Section 8 housing if they fail to attract enough luxury apartment dwellers who can afford to pay for those luxury apartments?
Any person who owns any property anywhere in town or any town in the state of New Jersey can open up that property to Section 8 housing. It doesn't have to be apartments. It can be the luxury house in the estate section of Colonia. It can be a row house on Judy Drive in Caseby. It can be an average house in Port Reading or Forts. Anybody can rent to a Section 8 tenant. They would make that decision on their own. I would hope they wouldn't do that, but anybody can do that at any time. And if they want to take less rent, they're welcome to do that.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public this evening?
Lee Darden, Avenel, I just wanted to thank you guys. I really appreciate you passing that ordinance, whatever the word is. Just thank you for listening to the people of the town. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments this evening?
Tom Maros, Forge, New Jersey. I'd like to take a quick moment just to thank the group that was here in support of the ordinance, and certainly want to commend this young Army individual for being here, and thank you for your service, and I hope God keeps you out of harm's way. A lot going on in the world right now, and I hope you don't have to get embroiled in it. God save our country. That said, I wanted to get into something. Did I hear the mayor? Let me back off from that. I don't want to waste my time waiting for a long answer. 2 weeks ago, I had inquired about the status of the Woodbridge Arts Alliance and its payments and obligations to the taxpayers of Woodbridge Township, because we front-ended all the expenditures that went into developing the Avenel Arts. Following that meeting, I submitted a rather detailed Oprah request. Unfortunately, because someone was on vacation, I was told that it was going to be delayed, or they requested a 5-day delay in responding to me. Thank you, Mr. Mitch, for looking into that and having someone move on it much faster. Normally, as you know, I'll grant requests when I think they are, requests for extensions when I feel that they're reasonable. This time I did not, because I felt that the administration did not want to address the issue yet again with documentation to verify what I've been asking, or, as the case may be, to show that I was wrong. I submitted a list of 7 questions. Basically, it all broke down to, since the contract was signed back in July 19th, 2018, between the administration and the WAA, which is Woodbridge Arts Alliance, what had transpired. The cost of the consulting fees, everything that went into that. And I do have prior information on that that showed me the records that led up to, prior to the 18th signing. So there was a history of the debt accumulation that had gone forth in the development of the Arts Center. The second question was the second transfer of the aforementioned debt from Woodbridge Township to the Art Alliance. When was that done and how much was it? The third was all the expenditures, encumbrances at all, the township did continue to accrue on behalf of the WAA from July 19th, 2019 through July 31st, 2021. Rather than going on, because I'm going to run out of time, I know it, so I'll try to just summarize this. What I got back is basically no responsive documents, no responsive documents. Number 3, they gave me 1 responsive document, which is a little under, let's see, if I go back to reading number 3, the question was the record of expenditures, debts, and encumbrances at all. The township continued to accrue on behalf of the WAA from July 19th, 2019 through July 31st, 2021. That total amount is $1,799,980.77. Going on to the other questions, I got the same answers, which were really no answer. No responsive documents, no responsive documents, no responsive documents, and then they give me a copy of the leasehold agreement, which I already had in much more detail that was provided here. And by the way, they are calling it a nonprofit, and it's actually registered as a not-for-profit, and I'm sure the attorneys know the difference between the two and what they can do. So my question is, apparently somebody's not keeping records very well, but yet we do have an obligation here of at least $1,799,980.77. And Mr. McCormick at the last meeting was turned around and said, well, they were a startup company. I understand that. We all understand what a startup company is, particularly anybody that's in business. We know that it can be hard before they can turn a profit. That doesn't mean they don't have to pay their bills in the interim. They do. And obviously these bills are not being paid, according to Mr. McCormick. They have paid back nothing. And I can understand that we got hit with COVID. But COVID came in not in 2018, not in 2019, 2020. And it really didn't get a grip into late into 2020. So there again, why has no money been paid back? What is the total amount that they owe? And when do they intend to honor their agreement to start making payments? If, as everybody keeps saying, this is a moneymaker, that we're doing so well with Gavin Art. And I'm not opposed to the arts. I'm a big fan of it. You know that. My history shows it. But I also care about taxes and what's being presented or not being presented to the public. I'd like some answers, and I'm sure the public would as well.
Mayor?
The Woodbridge Arts Alliance is a nonprofit entity. The theater and the Curtains Restaurant have not made any money. They were open for just short of 2 years, and we're starting to turn the corner in the last several months, and then COVID hit. So it was a startup company, no startup company. Very few startup companies make money in the first 2 years. This didn't. Then COVID hit, and clearly that has destroyed the operation. We just opened several months ago in part, and we're still not fully open. They haven't paid us anything back. They probably won't pay us the rest of the year, and I'm pretty sure they won't pay us anything back in 2022. So whatever they owe us, they owe us. You have to look at the history of the project. This is a $9 million asset that we own. The county paid $6 million toward it. The developer paid $1 million toward it, and we paid $2 million toward it. So we own a $9 million asset that we paid $2 million for. So we are way ahead of the game on this one. It has led to an amazing amount of development around Avenel, Feed Your Soul Restaurant, Barrow's Barbecue, Jersey Boys Pizza. That's just 3 restaurants that have opened up within walking distance of there since Curtains Restaurant and the theater have opened. It's done enormous An enormous thing for Avenel's reputation. It's been tremendous on the property values. For years before COVID, all the realtors told us Avenel was going up at 4% a year, and the rest of Woodbridge was going up at 2% a year. We made $3 million already in taxes, even though people like to say that the downtown housing projects and all the pilots don't produce taxes. They produce a lot of taxes. We've collected over $3 million so far from that project. We're going to collect $50 million from that project for the next 25 years. We have a brand new school being built. It's done wonders for Avenel. Look at Route 1, Cambria Hotel knocking down the City Motel and the Spot Restaurant. We've got University Orthopedics and a major dental practice taking over the Big Top contracting site, which was an eyesore. We have all the restaurants I've mentioned. We've got 2 buildings being built on the Bud's Hut site. You've had Dunkin' Donuts open. You've had Holiday Inn. You've had Wawa. You can name a whole host of things, and Corey can probably tell you better than I can. But there's been a real resurgence of Avenel. The train station has gotten a major upgrade from New Jersey Transit and from the development. All these things together are just amazing for the town's finances. Do they owe us money? Yes. Are they going to pay us back? Yes. Are they going to pay us back soon? No. We're okay with that. With the money we've made so far on the building, the money we've made so far in taxes, and what this has done to the reputation of Avenel, and what this has done to the reputation of Woodbridge Township, we are fine with the relationship we have with the Woodbridge Arts Alliance. They're a startup business. They hit hard times in COVID. Theaters were shut. Restaurants were shut. So I don't know why anybody would expect that they would have paid us back anything by now. I certainly don't, and I'm okay with that.
Thank you.
Again, I was talking about the first 2 years as well.
Mr. Maris, thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
John Rotary, Woodbridge again. I'm glad with the clean energy, we need it. But that energy will not come from Woodbridge properties. We own a public service companies, 2 buildings. They're going to be competing with them. They're the taxpayers to Woodbridge. But they then pay taxes that reduces the taxes on the residents. What happens if something happens to them? It's not economically feasible to keep these places open. Like in the health sold, how much we lost to rentables from them if they don't stay in business, because we are actually competing with our own so-called taxpayers. And again, we need a clean energy, but again, just think it, we are the only town that's going to such a situation where we have 2 power plants, and we are told not to buy electricity from them. So I think it's kind of, I'd be hurt if I was the one that would what you call the stocks in the public service and the gas. Again. But that's one thing. Second thing, the mayor. In the meantime, we just mentioned before that Avenel, who's paying the bills? If they're not making the money, then you got to pay the bills. Who's paying those bills? Where the money comes from?
They're paying the bills with money advanced by us.
In case there's not enough money to pay the bills, where the money comes from?
They're paying the bills with money provided by us.
But they don't. They break even every time.
Who's breaking even?
Okay. Tomorrow, which I was, talked to a lot of people about it, and we just brought to me about a week or so about the Woodbridge Fire Department, $7.4 million bond that they want to raise to buy a certain equipment, trucks, what do you want to call it. You talk to the certain firemen, paid firemen, you talk people, administration with the fire department that did something for it, and most of them are against it. But number one, number two is that they say we don't need it. We don't need a ladder truck because we just fixed it, it's certified, it's up to date. We bought new fire trucks, it's up to date. Why do we have to buy additional? And the third thing was, if you do buy new fire truck, they say, it would not fit in a firehouse, so what should build another firehouse? So it kind of okay, do you want to have it? Yes. Do you really need it? No. Buying the place on Green Street, taking the building off the taxpayers' roll to put a headquarters for 35 firemen or 32, and you need a so-called office buildings for how many employees they got. They probably got more people work as employees than the fire people. So to me, it's kind of I almost use what do with the money, wasting the money unnecessary. Like you said yourself, you should not spend more than you have. And they're going to use the fire truck. I used to live on Green Street. And they're going to tell you, well, the trucks that we don't use, we're going to park in the backyard there in case we do need them. We're going to just go on Green Street residential area and drive the trucks at night or whatever it is they need someplace else. So actually they're breaking the law by putting something like that on the Green Street, which shouldn't be done. Never, never, never in a park. So if you look at it, I don't know who's running it, whose decision is it. I know you need more fire equipment because all those buildings you're building. I understand it, but who should pay for those fire trucks, for all this equipment, improvements, a payroll for the additional firemen I believe they need it? Should be those people that build those buildings. People that live 2-story house, 1-story house, they paid enough. Why should they pay for people that have 7, 8 stories office buildings? They don't pay for it. Let them pay for it. When you had a Hess Oil, Hess used to buy his own fire trucks. They don't have equipment. They didn't come to Woodbridge Taxpayers to give us money in case there's Hess fire. But if you got a fire across the street, somebody else's little house could burn someplace else, but those people are not paying those taxes for it. So don't put a burden on the taxpayers, poor people. 50, 60 bucks is not a lot for some people, but it's a lot of money for a lot of people. So personally, I think if people look around it, it's kind of I would say, taking advantage of citizens of this town. And thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
Richard Aveniri, East Brunswick. I just want to thank you all for passing this ordinance. I want to thank the mayor for planning on signing it. It's a great ordinance, and if you have any questions, I encourage you to hook up with any of the organizers to have those questions answered, and so that if any townspeople want to ask any questions, you can answer them, and everything would just go smoothly. But yeah, thank you so much, and have a great day, I guess.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Hello, my name is John from Port Reading. Corey, 3 meetings ago, you said that the Art Center is packed and there's constantly a lot of shows there. I'm showing 3 shows in August, 7 shows in September, 10 shows of the same show in October, the gay wedding again, and 4 shows in November. Could you show us the ticket sales on this and how much you guys are bringing in?
Everything goes through the council president.
Sir, no, we don't have the ticket sales on hand and how much money is being brought in.
You have no clue?
We don't,
Are you able to
we
get
don't,
that?
we don't have that with us.
Oh, you don't have it handy?
Well, no.
All right, but are you able to get that
I'm
information?
I'm sure there is.
So if I send you an email, you'll be able to tell me?
No, you could Oprah it.
Huh?
You could Oprah it.
I can Oprah it?
Yeah.
You can't do that something so, well, Corby can do it because he's right now, he's
No,
been
he can't.
supporting it. The mayor should know the numbers right off the top of his head because he's like, how many millions of dollars we're making off of it. So it can't be that hard, could it?
7 shows in September is pretty good, 10 in October is pretty good, and we haven't finished this winter planning yet, but those are very good numbers. Certainly August you can't count because there's not much going on in July and August, and no, we don't have those numbers. The money comes into the Woodbridge Arts Alliance.
Could you show us the sales of the past shows?
No,
You don't know, or you can't figure it out?
we don't collect the money, it's collected by the Woodbridge Arts Alliance.
All right, don't they owe us money?
Yes.
Okay. When do you want to be a businessman that you are to be able to keep track of that?
We will keep track of it when we need to. As I said, this operation has been going, and was a startup company and then got hit by COVID. We know they owe us money. Our system does not track receivables by New Jersey accounting laws. We're not allowed to have a receivable on the books of the township from the Woodbridge Arts Alliance. We expense everything as we go according to New Jersey rules. At the time when we think they're able to pay us some money back, we will reconcile our records and we will bill them the appropriate amount, but there's no point now when we're not going to get money at least till 2023.
So since you're overseeing the Woodbridge Township and Corey Spiller is overseeing that now and bragging how well it's doing, how can you not keep track of people that owe us money?
As I just said, there is no requirement, it's not even legal in our books to keep track in our books of a receivable. We're not allowed to do that. We know they owe us money.
Right, but if you make an alliance with someone to pay you, there's an agreement.
There is an
Anytime
agreement.
you run, if they owe you money, if I go buy environmental equipment from a company and I'm renting it from them, I'm gonna owe them money. This is the same case here. They owe us money. You should be able to keep track of exactly where our money is, where it's going.
I can keep track of it whenever I want. I'm just have not done it yet because they can't pay us. They can't pay us for a while yet, at least until 2023. So whether I know the number is 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million, I don't know, but I'm not worried because we've collected 7 million in an asset for nothing. We've collected 3 million in property taxes for nothing, plus all the intangibles on what it's meant to the township in general and what it's meant to Avenel in particular. I'm not worried what that number is. We'll get it when we get it.
All right. I understand Corey doesn't have the business-minded background in finance or economics, but I understand you do, being an accountant your whole life. Does it make sense to know how far in the negative this place is to owe in Woodbridge Township the money?
I have an idea. The schedule was released in the open request tonight. It's $1.7 million. That's a rough idea of what they owe us.
So they're
I'm
in
not
the
worried
hole.
about
They're
pinning
in
it
that
down.
hole, so that makes us in the hole for money owed to Woodbridge Township, right? Wouldn't that be correct?
What do you mean by in the hole? They have a liability to us.
Right. So if they have a liability to us and they're $1.7 million in the hole of paying us, they're in the red. That puts us in the red of losing money.
No, it does not put us in the red because, as I said, we expense that money as we go per New Jersey rules. We are not in the red on the books because the money is not on our books.
Well, between you and Corey, are you able to figure out the ROI over this over the next 5 years?
Zero.
Zero?
We are not making money. I've explained that.
So over the next 5 years, not gonna make no money on this place?
We don't make money on the money we give for baseball and football fields and the Woodbridge Recreation Council. We don't make money on what we give to senior centers. We don't make money on a lot of things. This is a recreational opportunity. It's great for this township. And we're not looking to make money. We're just looking to get reimbursed what we spent. And we'll get reimbursed what we spend at the appropriate time when they can afford to pay us back. We're not looking to make money on this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are they paying their
Your
taxes?
time's up, sir. Thank
They
you.
don't pay taxes. They're a nonprofit.
Thank you, sir.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
Council President, I'm sorry, just to correct Mr. Maskin's statement where he referenced the one show. It's a My Big Gay Italian Funeral, not a gay show. So if you're going to mention something, at least have the wherewithal to do the proper research to know what you're talking about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing no other comments from the public?
Good evening, James Dabrowski, Woodbridge Proper. On Sunday, August 8th, I walked over to the Mayor's Summer Concert Series behind Woodbridge High School right by my house when I immediately noticed the food truck that had partnered with the township that evening, Let's Have a Ball, Rice Balls, and Italian Ices, was flying the anti-black Blue Lives Matter flag, created in 2014 in response to the Black Lives Matter racial justice movement. I realized this was the same truck I had seen on June 27th when the band Southern Steel had displayed a Confederate flag image on the backdrop of the mayor's stage. As I had mentioned last month, when I brought this to the mayor's attention, he ignored me and did absolutely nothing about the white supremacist symbol. Maybe this time would be different. Before asking the mayor, I thought I'd first try to have a conversation with the food truck vendors and see if they might consider removing the racist anti-Black Lives Matter flag. Unfortunately, Let's Have a Ball co-owner John Cragen of South Plainfield did not at all appreciate my polite request, nor the facts I shared with him about the flag and the anti-black Blue Lives Matter counter-movement it symbolizes. He quickly became belligerent, using profanity and even shouting the ableist slur, retarded, and I apologize for even repeating that disgusting word. There was a Popcorn for the People tent nearby, which is a nonprofit organization employing adults with autism. Having worked Woodbridge Township's PACE program for students with disabilities for 8 consecutive summers, I knew many of these autistic adults when they were children and was extremely hurt and angered by Mr. Cragen's despicable remarks. Looking at John Cragen's Facebook page, he had also used that same revolting slur to call our New Jersey governor, Retard Murphy, for supporting our undocumented residents. The same community members Mayor McCormick and his council have consistently refused to support or even to acknowledge at all. It's sadly not surprising that when I approached the mayor and asked if he would please request that Mr. Cragen remove the anti-black Blue Lives Matter flag from flying at our township's public event, Mayor McCormick sharply replied, "Freedom of speech," and then yet again ignored me. It has been over a year since our nation lost civil rights icon John Lewis, but we must never forget his powerful words. I believe in freedom of speech, but I also believe that we have an obligation to condemn speech that is racist, bigoted, anti-Semitic, or hateful. The same people who try to say the Confederate flag is about anything other than white supremacy are the same people who try to say the Blue Lives Matter flag is about anything other than white supremacy. They can scream their "I'm not racist" excuses until they're blue in the face, but as the great James Baldwin observed, I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. And when you look at a person like John Cragen, who calls the coronavirus the appallingly anti-Asian racist slur Kung Flu, who posted a photo of black athletes kneeling in protest against racial injustice with a disgustingly racist and sexist caption, "Men stand, bitches kneel," who shockingly shouted ableist slurs in front of our disabled community members, it doesn't get more clear that this is someone Woodbridge needs to cut ties with immediately. Council President Small, would you please ask the mayor if he will stand against racism and bigotry and let John Cragen know that his South Plainfield business will no longer be partnering with Woodbridge Township?
No.
Mayor McCormick, would you please let John Cragen know that he's no longer welcome in Woodbridge Township with that despicable behavior? Why won't you, Council President Small?
Because I'm not.
Because you're friends with him? Why is he even vending at our Woodbridge event when he's from South Plainfield?
I don't even know who he is.
You don't know who he is? Okay. Mayor McCormick did the exact same thing when his blatantly racist friend Mark Tolley, who was hanging Blue Lives Matter flags on our Woodbridge overpasses while wearing an anti-black Just Stand t-shirt as a white supremacist middle finger to Nike for supporting black athletes' protests against racial injustice. Mark Tolley, who was photographed in the wildly racist act of wearing blackface and who supported a hateful Islamophobic movement trying to stop a mosque from being built near Ground Zero. Mayor McCormick wouldn't tell him to take down his awful anti-black flags either, and residents of conscience had to instead contact the New Jersey Turnpike Authority to finally have them removed. Woodbridge deserves better than this. We deserve leaders who are actually committed to anti-racism. I appreciate what you did for the environment, passing the ordinance. You deserve to be commended for that. But come on, we got to be held accountable on all fronts. The next logical step would be stopping the KSB power plant. Can we commit to that as well?
No comment.
No comment, of course. How about any comments on the Niger Parks case, Jeremiah Daniels Porter? Are we going to try to get justice for them or deny them their claims?
No comment.
No comment, of course. I'm going to take my full time. This gentleman, John Cragen, yelling ableist slurs. This is somebody we want to have in Woodbridge. I want to make sure we're clear on this. Yes, Council President Small? You're okay with having him sell his products from South Plainfield at Woodbridge when he's yelling that kind of filth at our township public events?
Who heard it besides you?
I have it on video. Can I share with you after the meeting, please?
Sure.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you.
Black Lives Matter, justice for Niger Parks, justice for Jeremiah Daniels Porter.
Any
Stop
other
the
comments
KSB
from
power
the
plant.
public this evening? Hearing no other comments from the public, can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Motion? Second.
Any comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Mr. President?
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. We'll now go into our agenda portion of the meeting. Number 5, bikes. I'm happy to announce that we'll be adding 5 more bike racks for the public. Hickory Senior Center in Fords, Evergreen and Colonia, the YMCA in Avenel, School 9 in Port Reading, and the Menlo Park Firehouse in Menlo Park Terrace. So that's 5 more. We're up to 8. It's been a huge success. I want to thank the mayor and the administration for moving it forward. And I see a lot of people riding their bikes out there. It's really nice to see. Our summer concerts are starting to wind down, so if you haven't been able to get out to them, please make an effort. They're a great time. Everybody seems to really be enjoying themselves, so get out there if you can. Number 17, our light show, just a reminder, we'll get into more of it when it gets closer. Mr. Mitch sent out all the invitations. Reminder, mark your calendar, November 27th at 6 p.m. will be the light show. Number 19, American Irish, September 19th at Woodbridge High School, halfway to St. Pat's Party, and that's from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Come on out, I'm sure it's going to be a great time. I have one announcement, Woodbridge Community Charity Foundation. This is the shopping spree raffle that the town does every year with the Community Charity Fund. Holiday shopping spree, first prize is $3,000, second prize is $2,000, third prize is $1,000. Woodbridge Township charitable 501c3 organizations are eligible to buy the tickets for the charity fund. Not limited to school-sponsored PTOs, music, theater, sports organizations and clubs, township sports organizations and leagues, churches, civic and community nonprofit associations and organizations. Tickets are on sale Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The mayor's office, 1 Main Street, 3rd floor. The phone number is 602-6015. You can contact Geraldine Mazarek. She's overseeing it at geraldine.mazarek@townshipofwoodbridgenj.us. Loretta Dowd is also another contact for the tickets. And the deadline, the raffle is going to go off November 24th. The deadline of the tournament is November 15th. That's all I have. God bless our police department, our emergency responders. God bless America. Vice President Bauer.
Thank you, Council President. Item number 9, Boy Scouts of America, Troop 53 of Fords. Congratulations are in order for Austin DeMeo and Daniel Atkin of Boy Scout Troop 53 in Fords for attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. Fords Pack 53 Cub Scouts and Pack 26 Girls are recruiting now for new members. For the boys, go to pack53cs@gmail.com. And for the girls, go to allgirl.pack@gmail.com for more information. I have one announcement. Fords Clara Barn Baseball League 2021 Fall Baseball registration is now open until August 31st. Visit their website at www.fcbbl.com for more information. That's all I have tonight. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeJesus.
Thank you, Council President. Item number 5, Police Community Relations. I would just like to congratulate our police department and especially our community affairs. They did a magnificent job for our first national night out. There was not one person that attended that didn't have a good time. The kids enjoy going in the police cars and all the first responders cars. So again, job well done. Item number 10, Free Public Library of Woodbridge. Registration has begun for in-person computer classes at the main library. The library will hold full programs live with an option to attend by Zoom on the topics of Cover New Jersey, the healthcare marketplace for affordable health insurance, wills and estate administration, how to protect yourself from scammers, book clubs, and reading programs for all ages. Again, visit the library online at woodbridgelibrary.org or call 732-634-4450. Item number 17, community backpacks. I'm really happy to announce that this year we will be having backpack events at Jacob's Landing, in Hopeland, and in Caseby. That is all for my agenda, and if you allow me, I have some announcements from Councilwoman Drum. Please be advised that the County Department of Transportation and Office of Public Works will begin a milling and resurfacing on the bridge deck to Woodbridge Avenue. This project will begin, weather permitting, on or about August 26th through September 9th, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. through to 3:30 p.m. Again, this is on the bridge deck on Woodbridge Avenue. Also, the C. Warren Free Public Library will have its grand opening on September 25th with a rain date of October 2nd. Item number 1, the St. James 31st Street Fair will take place on downtown Main Street on Saturday, September 18th with a rain date of Saturday, September 25th. If you are interested in being a vendor, you may email stjamessf@gmail.com. Come support St. James Parish. Item number 2, the Downtown Merchants Association will have a car cruise on Main Street. They ask that you come on down and join them and stop at our local businesses for dinner and treats. The car cruise is tomorrow night, Wednesday, and it begins at 6 p.m. There is another car cruise scheduled for September 15th. Main Street SID, please visit the website, Twitter, and Facebook pages for what's happening with our local Main Street businesses. Facebook page is Downtown Woodbridge, Twitter is @WoodbridgeDtown, and their website, downtownwoodbridge.com. Item number 4, Chamber of Commerce has planned 2 exciting networking events in September. Please visit the website, woodbridgechamber.com, for the details and join in on the fun. And item number 14, Woodbridge Fire Department. There is a special election for renovation and additions to the existing administration building on Green Street to build a new garage and to purchase a new ladder truck. The special election will take place tomorrow, Wednesday, at the Woodbridge Firehouse, 418 School Street, for Woodbridge proper residents and for C. Warren residents at the C. Warren Library, located at 546 West Avenue. Both times to cast your vote from 2 to 9 p.m. And that is all that I have for both of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council President Small. Item number 2, curtains at Avenel Arts Village. Councilman Small, I know you have concerts on your agenda, but this Saturday from 2 to 5, outside the big stage at Curtains, a very popular Bruce Springsteen cover band, the B Street Band, will be performing. The outdoor concerts have been incredible in attendance, and the B Street Band always brings a good following. Come on down, bring a chair, and while you're at it, get some refreshments and food. Item number 7, Route 1 redevelopment. A number of residents have reached out and asked me what's going on at the former Bud's Hut property. They see some action going on. It was approved for 2 structures, up to 3 restaurant uses. The 2 shell structures are up. There are no tenants as of now. There's negotiations that's between landlord and prospective tenants, but they find a lot of times it's easier to get tenants in sooner once the building is up. One of them is outfitted with the drive-throughs. Hopefully, things will be moving along now. That's all for my agenda this evening, Council President. Just a couple announcements. Port Reading Avenue and West Avenue in Port Reading is scheduled to be milled and paved by the county. Port Reading Avenue from Moraway Avenue to Lee Street. This is all weather permitting. The milling is projected to start August 23rd, and the paving is projected August 31st, with striping September 7th. And Councilwoman DeJesus, it's West Avenue from the bridge deck to Woodbridge Avenue. So that will start in Port Reading behind the firehouse and obviously go through Councilwoman Drums. Thank you for sharing that information. That is scheduled for August 26th for milling, paving on September the 7th, and then striping on September the 9th. Thank you to all our emergency responders, fire, EMS, our Woodbridge Police Department, CERT, and all of our public works and township employees for the great job you do. God bless America. Thank you, Council President Small. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. I just have one announcement tonight, just to save a date. We will be doing our September 11th service this year on Friday, September 10th, and that'll be at 6 p.m. We're holding it on the stage at Woodbridge High School. That's 1 Samuel Lupo Place. This year, we are going to salute, it'll be a salute to our Woodbridge Township first responder community, Woodbridge Police Department, Woodbridge Township Fire Departments, Woodbridge Township First Aids, Woodbridge Township Office of Emergency Management and CERT, and of course to all our residents that we lost on 9/11 here in Woodbridge Township. So we encourage you to come out and just give thanks and support all our first responders and remember our residents that we lost. And again, that'll be Friday, September 10th at 6 p.m. behind Woodbridge Woodbridge High School. And that's what I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. First, I'd like to congratulate my partner here on the dais, Councilman Patel, on his successful Indian Day Parade. Had a great time and a very good turnout considering the COVID conditions that we're living in. And also congratulations to IBA and the Indian Business Association. I do want to also acknowledge Extremes Bikes. I think I mentioned it a few months ago that I was on a long line of waiting for bicycles, and Rob over at Extremes Bikes on Main Street came through, communicated with us all the way, and my boys were very happy to get their bicycles. It was a very hot day when we got them, and I couldn't fit them in the car, so I said, you got to ride back to Colonia. So that was great. And also, right next door is Holy Cow Ice Cream. I put it on Facebook the other day, and there were a lot of people, I was surprised there were a lot of people that didn't know that they were open. So hopefully that'll get them some nice customers. It's really nice, like walk-up window type environment there. and the nice young ladies that have been working inside there have been, very, very customer service oriented. So I just want to congratulate those two businesses and wish Holy Cow a lot of luck. I'm going off of my agenda for the high school football games are about to start, and Woodbridge High School is playing in the Battle of the Beach in what they consider week 0, and that's on August 29th down at Ocean City High School. If you've ever been down there, their football field literally is right next to the boardwalk. So it's a great scene if you want to come down. You do have to buy tickets in advance, so you have to go to gofan.com. GoFan.com, they'll be playing Winslow Township High School, and that's actually on a Sunday, which is not a typical day for high school football. And then the following week, they will open up against Colonia High School at Woodbridge, and that's always a great battle. And I do want to acknowledge JFK athlete, football player Isaiah Cherry for earning a full scholarship to University of Delaware. And it's probably been about 25 years since a football player from JFK has earned a full scholarship to a Division I college, and he's at the University of Delaware. I do want to commend Coach Tariq Holman, as we know he has a lot of contacts being a former NFL player himself, but it's nice to see a local young man get a scholarship. And I will give my brother a little plug because he was the last University of Delaware football player from JFK High School. So, congratulations to JFK High School and to their football program. I'm moving down to job banks. We're really looking for crossing guards as we step it up. As you know, we're still planning for in-person attendance in school, as everyone knows, and I know there are a lot of opinions on this, but going into the school year, all students will be required to wear a mask going into the school year this year. But we're looking for crossing guards. It's a great part-time job. All you have to be is 18 years or older. The phone number, if you call 732-634-4500, extension 6408, or you can contact Eunice Jackson at the same phone number, 634-4500, extension 2125. Also, I think it's DIMI delivery or DIMI delivery. We're looking for drivers, $17.50 per hour, part-time and full-time. They are looking for drivers to be 21 years of age or older and valid driver's license. And they can call 551-404-5130, or they can email DIMI-delivers@gmail.com. And again, I mentioned before, I still haven't gotten my bonus yet, but it's probably because I didn't apply yet. But you can apply to Amazon, and they're offering a $1,000 bonus for a sign-on. So that's a great incentive. If your kids, you're getting back to your kids and you need to buy those school supplies, Amazon's hiring. So please consider doing that. You can get all of this information on our Employment Opportunity Center, and if you just go into the township website, and you can just type in Employment Opportunity Center and just continue to click on the links, and you will find your way into all of those jobs. I do want to move over to Middlesex College. They will be having a State of the College on Monday, August 30th at 9 a.m. And the summer sessions end on August 19th. There will be a welcome back night, which is going to be virtual for Middlesex College. That's on August 31st at 5 p.m. And you can go on to www.middlesexcc.edu. And the first day of the fall semesters at Middlesex this year is September 7th. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Fataro.
Thank you, Council President. At the community center, there's still a lot of activities outside with the Skyland Mini Golf and the batting cages. They're open up every day, Monday through Sunday. Inside, we've just started our ice skating, roller skating, and inline skating lessons, and they're available if you head over to their website. And also for the remainder of the month, if you stop by and take a tour, you can get a 5-day pass to the community center. Again, their website is www.njwcc.com, NewJerseyWoodbridgeCommunityCenter.com. Moving down to the senior opportunities, by now we all know the New Jersey Senior Olympics are September 10th, 11th, and 12th. This is our 14th year of hosting it in Woodbridge Township. I'm dusting off my old javelin and plan on getting out in the track and field. The deadline for registration is August 27th. Remember, Woodbridge Township residents can get into 3 events for $5, which is a $25 saving. And the best way to register is through their website, NJSeniorOlympics.com. Moving down further on my agenda, I just wanted to give an update on our health center and the COVID vaccine status. There have been 73 clinics held so far, and there have been 9,831 vaccines administered. Clinics coming up are this Thursday. It might be a little late for the people watching on TV. Also, August 26th from 3 to 5 p.m. Walk-ups are allowed, and you can come at any time. There are other opportunities for vaccines, and also there are new guidelines from the CDC, so you should keep up on that. And we will be capable of administering the 3rd dose when they become available. Those are for immunocompromised folks, and you should check with your doctors to see if that's in your best interest to get that. Also, just to mention, coming up in wellness and fitness, on Sunday, November 5th is the Crossroads 5K. That's a 9 a.m. start. Registration starts earlier. That's all online. You can just Google New Jersey Crossroads, Woodbridge Township, and that'll come up. On Sunday, the 26th, is the Tour to Woodbridge. That's the 14th year that we've hosted that. Councilman Anderson, Rob over at Extreme Bank is the sponsor of that bike tour, and he actually provides the mechanical end for it. We have a truck that follows the riders. If somebody gets a flat or something happens, they're right there to fix them and get them back in the run. So Rob is a good community partner, so I'm glad that you did business with him. Glad to hear. Council President, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Patel?
Yeah, thank you, Council President. I think Kyle has one.
I just had one other thing I asked Councilman Patel. I had mentioned to you all our former commissioner for Middlesex County, Ken Armwood, who was a great friend to us all, who passed away unexpectedly back in March. He was a former football player at Piscataway High School, and on September 17th, Piscataway High School, they have their board voted unanimously to name their football stadium after him. So I just want to acknowledge that. If you're available, it'd be nice to have a big crowd there. That's where he had his funeral, and that was his home. So just want to acknowledge that, and job well done by Piscataway Board of Ed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. Also, my agenda is on order. I would like to just also do thanks. The India Day Parade was on Sunday, August 8th, and it was a really grand success parade, I would say, and everything went very well. I would like to thank the police department, the fire department, sanitation, Department of Recreation, EMS, just doing, for exceptional great job there, and also IBA for arranging, because I think they had to do a lot of hard work to do the whole parade, so I'd like to thank them all. That's all for tonight. Thank you, Council President. Thank you.
Mr. Mitch?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple comments. Under 1A, I continue to communicate with the state on some minor issues with regards to that transfer. Just prior to the meeting, they reached out again, so it looks like we should be able to move this in September. I'll be noting that hopefully soon. Dropping down to elections, we're in the early planning stages, but we will be having early voting for the general election in November, and we will be using the Acacia Center in the Port Reading section of town to do so, and that'll be open to all registered voters in Woodbridge and Middlesex County who wants to take an opportunity to vote before Election Day. And then I'll be deleting number 6 tonight from my agenda. Thank you.
Director Hubner?
Thank you, Council President. I just have my normal draft ordinance amendments.
Thank you. Director Dorton?
Thank you, Council President. Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Business Administrator Simulacro.
Thank you, Council President. I have a shared service agreement with East Brunswick for animal control, and I have a resolution adopting sustainable visioning goals and objectives. And under health, I have a childhood lead poisoning sub-grant agreement. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Legal? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion? Second.